You got a way of starting conversations that ends conversation.
Why is your wife divorcing you?
Got a way of starting conversations that ends conversation. Funny.
Hello and welcome to Tina and Karen Do the Tube. I'm Karen.
And this is Tina. Hey guys. So this is kind of new. We're currently not sitting next to each other right now.
No, could you tell with the audio difference? The quality of the difference of the conversation? No, Martin is calling in from his cell phone.
Yep. Google Pixel 2.
A Google Pixel 2.
The, not the highest quality, but it gets the job done, I'm assuming.
Well, we don't know that yet because actually this is our first time. We're experimenting with the technology. Hopefully, in the near future, we're going to be able to produce better quality podcasts. But we don't know exactly how to do that just yet. So this is an experimental run. Tina, how you doing?
Out, see if it works.
It's been a while since we've talked.
It has been. When was the last time we talked?
A couple months ago.
The last time we tried to do a podcast, right?
Yes, actually.
In April.
Yeah.
April?
So so this channel hasn't uploaded a podcast in quite some time, primarily due to laziness, but also due to the fact that Tina and I live in two different cities, and it's been hard to coordinate regular times for us to get together and do these sort of things. We try it every single time we do get together, but sometimes we have technological problems. However, we're both committed towards more podcasts in the future. We are.
And if this works, then maybe we can get like a regular thing going on.
Yes, I think that this is going to have to be our avenue until we, up the ante on the technology, which we can do, and I'm willing to sponsor it. Okay, but we have a great show today because we're going to be talking about some
Hey, we're back.
Yes, we're back. That was mentioned. Is someone just walking in the room?
No. I'm kind of pacing around on my cell phone, but
All right. Okay, great. So we have a couple topics we were going to hit on today. The big news in the gaming world is that the new Final Fantasy VII remake, which has been in the works for upwards of a decade now, has finally set a release date.
That's insane. When did that first come out?
1996, I think, or 1997 is when the original game came out. It was a huge hit. I always, personally, the period between the late 90s, early 2000s was, in my mind, Square Enix at their best. Final Fantasy VII to Final Fantasy X. And I later played 6, never finished it, but you have played it and you love it.
I love the story in 6 too.
Oh, yeah. But so I always go back and forth with debating which is my favorite between 7 and 10. But I usually pick 7. I think the story's better, the characters are better. It's the gameplay
More
overall.
compelling.
It's more compelling. And the strange part was, I think actually no, I'm gonna probably maybe lean a little more to 10. And the only reason for that is because I had a strategy guide when I first played Final Fantasy VII, which meant that much of the story was revealed to me by me skipping ahead in the book. Which was kind of just like a spoilering. It's one of the original spoilers when you have a strategy guide that teaches you how to beat the game. Because if you remember playing Final Fantasy VII, it's an open world, a huge open world. It's not very clear where you go each time, is it?
No, but it kind of still like suggests where you should be going.
Okay.
It is like an open world, but you do have kind of like a path that you have to take.
You know, one of the more interesting things about Final Fantasy compared to most other role-playing games is that I feel like in most other role-playing games, the main hero has no personality because I think the main hero is usually supposed to be you. That's the idea of role-playing. Whereas in all these Japanese role-playing games like Final Fantasy, they usually have very linear, fully fleshed out characters. I think that's a little more interesting because it's actually
the difference between like American and Japanese.
Well, in just most role-playing games, I feel like, or maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I'm comparing it to Elder Scrolls, because when you play Elder Scrolls, you create the character from scratch, and the character has no personality because you're supposed to literally be the character. So everyone you come across, you don't say anything really.
That's true. I never played any of those games, but I mean, yeah, it's very like first person. Like you decide who you kind of want to be like I played Baldur's Gate 2, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, essentially you're kind of playing the son of one of the sons of all, but you think who you are and like the choices you make definitely affect like the type of character people look at you as.
Which is one of the more
Consistent
interesting
with
things
that
about
person.
role playing, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
always like,
that's
and
why we like it.
yeah, like Fable's a great one of the first games that really did that, like choose between good and evil.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
all
I
about the
forgot about that.
Yeah, I know. It's all about the choices you make, and it's very customizable as to how you play. Final Fantasy never did that. Final Fantasy's characters were pretty much like from level 1 to level 70. It's gonna be you're gonna play the game the same way.
You're gonna be this guy, and you have to make.
He's a
No,
warrior
he's
class.
decision.
She's a mage class. He's a fighter class. I don't care what you call him, but that's how Final Fantasy played. That's the only thing I'm saying when I compare American to Japanese.
Like, yeah, and I'm saying like that's probably why some versions, 7 resonates more with people other than 6 because they like the certain characters.
Oh,
or
definitely.
10 rather than 7.
And so I loaned you 7 the first time you played it, right?
With your original PlayStation.
Yes, exactly. So you didn't play it when it first came out. It took you years later until you finally played 7.
No, I think the first Final Fantasy I played was 4, but that was on my like DS.
Exactly.
A long time ago.
So you weren't
Well,
you
loaned
didn't
me 10.
you
too.
didn't grow up with 7 is what I'm saying. You played it when you were maybe a teenager. I played 7 when it first came out.
Yeah, and that was your first one, right?
Yeah, it was my first into the series. I think that and Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time were probably the 2 games I was heavily invested in the story amongst everything else. So most people who wanted this, clamoring for this remake, they just wanted updated graphics, but they wanted the same storyline, pretty much like shot for shot. Because I hear a lot of people wanting to see the scenes where Cloud goes in drag to try to make it into a brothel. Which would be really weird to see in high resolution. When you think about that.
I know, I've seen some of the old pixelated footage compared to like what it might look like, and it's kind of
It's awkward, isn't it? But that's what
I hope that's what they do.
But that's what the fans wanted. They wanted a faithful remake. I don't know so much about the gameplay. We'll talk about that in a second. But I wanted to talk about one of the more controversial parts of the game in the remake, and I want to get your input on this because I know it's very important to you. The Tifa redesign.
It must be realistic.
It's very controversial, though.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Tifa? Oh, see, that's one of the problems with this,
no.
huh? Oh, no. Yes, it's the redesign is more what I say. They slimmed her down a bit. Is that one, kind of a PC way of saying it?
Those feminists.
Well, that's what I was concerned about because I thought the Japanese are going to be faithful because they're not pander to this sort of crap. But like, she's not flat, and we're just going to come out and say it because that's what the game.
Anything but.
No, she's not flat, but like in the original game, it was like her most noticeable feature, right?
Yes, her voluptuous. That's what was that? I hope maybe they compensated Ares a little bit more then. I don't know.
Oh, you mean Aerith? Yeah,
take that.
Aerith. Oh,
Ares, yeah.
well, I've seen the way she's designed, and I must say, like, they do a fantastic job on her. Because when I was growing up, I always thought Tifa was the hotter of the 2 main characters. But the way they design Aerith is now she's a good-looking girl too. It's kind of weird to talk about animated characters that way, but like, why? They're like hyper-realistic looking, okay? It's not that far off from reality.
Well, yeah, people were saying this about her like 20 years ago before they even had the remake.
Exactly. Those people were weird. We are normal.
Yes.
But one of the problems was when I first...
That's disappointing.
I saw a screenshot of the game, the first screenshot released of Tifa, and from the looks of it, I thought it was going to be a faithful adaptation of the character. But it turned out it was a photoshopped version of the actual screenshot. So it was some fan got a hold of the screenshot and changed a few things. But the real one from the game is going to be more athletically designed, which makes sense for the character.
I guess may for athleticism maybe.
Would you expect?
What about all those people cosplaying as Tifa now?
I
What do
know
they do?
that's good. Oh, you're actually right. That's actually going to make a huge difference in the cosplay world. I don't know what you do about that, because do you go with the original or do you go with the more realistic remake?
Well, we'll let the cosplayers decide who should be the real Tifa, I guess.
Sort
I've
of
done
the
both.
definitive Tifa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll have the final say, and who should really be the how she should really look.
Well put. Well, I was just.
Unfortunately, making video games is a democracy.
But the interesting part about all of that is, like, you always hear about, like, women come in all shapes and sizes, right? That is the feminist motto. Sort of one of the top feminist motto. But, like, apparently one of those shapes that's not appropriate is big breasts. Like, those women don't count as women.
Why?
I don't know. I know. It's silly. But once again, I will give them credit to say that if you were going to have a fighter-type female character, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for her to have assets of that kind.
What? Maybe they're a useful distraction. I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't think that's what the direction they wanted to go with the character.
Maybe they can hide like a dagger in them.
That's
something
not
like
what
that.
Tifa
Who knows?
was. She was a fighter. She was.
I know.
Okay. Let's not change her
I'm
class.
saying based purely on like how one would use them in combat.
How would one use those in combat? I know how someone could use that in
Like a
pornography.
distraction or
Well, the distraction element, but like, I mean, do you really want a game in which, like, whenever you choose Tifa as a character, is like her specialty is just like all the guys just drop their jaw and drop their guns, and it's like, duh? I did a Tim Allen noise there. That would make probably a more realistic telling of the story, but not a very compelling. It'd be too easy for them to win each battle. Unless you came across a female enemy, which rarely happened in that game, I don't think. I can't actually remember if there were any female villains.
And you've been replaying it recently.
I did
too.
replay it, yeah. But the only thing that comes to mind, I think, is one of the Shinra executives was female. But you don't ever fight her, so.
So what took so long for it to be remade?
You know, that I am not 100% sure on. I did not do any research going to this. I think that this, it's implied that this is sort of a trial run of our new podcast, new format. So much so that I'm going to play a noise like... There's no reason for me to play that sound bit, and you didn't hear it at all. So I played a little bit of Duke Nukem. So Final Fantasy Remake, 7 Remake, delay. Why did it take so long? Final Fantasy's upcoming action rule.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years. I mean, most stuff that is remade nowadays comes like remade every 10 years. So
a lot of it, I think, could just become with trying to create. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of expectations, and when you're ever remaking a classic like that you want to do it justice. You don't want to rush through it.
yeah, just right.
Yep.
Yeah.
One element of the game I don't know much about yet is the actual gameplay. What I do know is, though, it is not turn-based. What do you think about that?
I mean, that would be a more compelling reason for people to replay it. It's just, if it has good gameplay rather than like the turn-based gameplay, then
See, I think that's the thing. I think it's moving. Well, I don't know enough about the gameplay. I have a fear and I have a hope. I hope that it's like an action RPG like Kingdom Hearts played. That's the first thing that comes to mind, where you actually you have full control of the character when you battle, but you can still level the character up and customize their materia and stats. My fear, though, did you ever play Final Fantasy 13?
no, I think I was I with you while you were playing it?
Maybe. I think so, because I did buy it, and that was the last Final Fantasy game I ever bought or played because it was bad. I can't speak.
They just changed the gameplay on it. And
Well,
wasn't your jam.
Though the gameplay became more cinematic, it was very interesting to watch the battles, but you had very little control over what was going on. I mean, you'd press a button when your turn came up, but like you watched this huge battle play out, but there was very little impact you had on the outcome of the battle, which was really sad to me. Because if you're gonna make it so that like it's not turn-based, you should at least make it so you have full control over the character. Because the idea of
like,
turn-based,
More like a slash 'em or.
yeah, well, I mean, the idea of like a turn-based RPG is that it's more strategy than it is skill, which I appreciate. But then if you're gonna turn away from that and go more towards an action type RPG, it still needs to be that you give the player control, and that's something 13 didn't do. 13, I can't even remember the combat system, but it was terrible. The story was bad too.
Okay.
The story was just convoluted, overly complicated, and just with characters no one cared about, except for the black guy with the afro. I don't even remember his name, but he was at least something interesting. He had a chocobo in his hair.
Something memorable.
He had a chocobo in his hair. That was the one interesting thing about him. He was your token black character. Oh, that's another thing that came up about Final Fantasy VII. I want your input. You haven't seen the trailer yet, right?
I have. I can't remember every part of it though.
Well, Barrett is coming under a little bit of controversy.
How so?
So it's funny that Tifa's controversial because the fans themselves are the ones complaining about the redesign, and
Okay.
but Barrett is solely a controversy by the SJWs.
Okay.
They claim that Barrett
Did
is.
they make him very like Mr. T like?
He is very Mr. T-like, exactly. He is about as stereotypical a black character as you can possibly imagine in their mind. The way he talks, the way he acts. And to be fair, wasn't that what Barrett kind of was when you first played the game?
Exactly.
I felt like it was
Almost
like
people like people like expect like some sort of social change because it's a remake, but
also
there wasn't. It didn't really need to happen. I mean, he's an overly exaggerated character.
he's a very exaggerated character, and I think that's kind of how Japan sees black people.
That's how they see a lot of people.
That might be just how they see Americans in general. Very in your face, very because Japan is a society that's heavily driven by social order. Everyone sort of knows the norms of the society, and you're not supposed to deviate from them too much. America, it's way more lax on the social norms. People don't care about the order of things. They just care about self-expression. You got to be honest and open and direct with people.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember there's a King of the Hill episode where, Hank discovers he has a Japanese brother. Do you ever watch that show?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
I need to rewatch that.
it's a good show, but I also just remember like the Japanese Hank, I can't remember his name obviously, just basically kind of taught Hank what how you could do things in Japan and how they're more efficient, and then Hank teaches the Japanese brother how things go in America and how it's more efficient. And basically Hank's version of what people do in America is you threaten to kick someone's ass if they don't do as you say. So it's very much in your face. That might be the difference between America and Japan right there. Japan's highly about honor and respect. America is about, just get shit done. I don't fucking care about your fucking feelings. Woo! America. Fuck yeah. Coming again to save the motherfucking day. Yeah, I gotta get a sound clip for that.
America.
Fuck
What would
yeah.
Japan be like?
Would Japan be? I would love the
say,
Dragon Ball sound theme song.
Okay.
I don't have that queued up either. Thank you, Martin. Does Pokemon have a Japanese theme, or should we just play the Pokemon theme from the
How does that one go?
Well, you know how that
wanna
one goes.
be
The very best, like no one ever was.
I never was.
Off.
Yeah.
off
Let's go with that.
I still would pick the Dragon Ball theme. Wasn't Goku like the mascot of the Tokyo Olympics, or he's gonna be? Tokyo has
I
the
have no
upcoming
idea.
Olympics, correct?
I don't know. I
I'm
was
gonna-
just thinking about like how I don't really follow the Olympics anymore.
No one does. But I'm going to look that up. Tokyo Olympics. Because I'm pretty... Olympics. Yep, 2020. Yep. And Goku is the mascot for the Olympics.
Oh, he is.
Yes. Oh,
Okay,
he's
that'd be one reason to watch, I guess.
well, he's Japan's version of Superman, so...
Okay, yeah.
I enjoy
Makes sense.
Japanese culture. You enjoy anime as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You got a favorite?
Maybe not as much as other people, but
No, we're not talking about the guy.
usual.
We're not talking about the weebos who masturbate to this crap. I'm just talking about this. Well, I'm talking about the art design and the storytelling, which are both great. But there is
Yeah, you know, Spirited Away, obviously, is a
Right.
great movie. And,
Did you
There's
want to talk
some other
briefly
ones
about the
along
guys
those
who
lines.
masturbate to anime chicks? Let's talk about that for a second because there's a
What is it
certain
called?
fetish. Well, we're gonna look that up. Anime fetish. Oh God, look at that. Don't ever type that
Oh,
into
no.
your computer. Don't click images either. Oh God, yeah. Fuck. Well,
please make sure you go in incognito mode when you do this.
yeah, that's gonna come up on my Google search later, and then I'm gonna have to be asked about that. It's a good thing I live alone because then I have to explain things. A lot of it fits fucking feet and panties. Weird.
Really? An anime?
Panties? Are you kidding me?
That's weird. First porn I ever saw was actually an anime.
Really?
Yeah, no joke.
Oh.
I think I was in 4th or 5th grade.
Really?
I don't know why,
You saw your
but
first
I was
porn
with-
in 4th grade?
Let me tell the story.
All right.
I was with one of my friends in the neighborhood and his brother and his girlfriend, some other guy I think, and we were hanging out at his brother's girlfriend's place, and they just popped in a pornographic anime for some reason. It felt very weird to like watch it with other people, especially being about 10 years old. So
Well, yeah, I'd imagine. The only strange porn story I have is I used to know a guy in college named Paco. And
so I think you've mentioned him before.
yeah, he's a dirty, filthy human being. Paco used to, well, like we'd have a dinner
In every
party.
sense of the word.
We'd have a dinner party, sorta. I don't know. We're trying to be fancy or classy or whatever. I think we called it Clancy because we thought we were clever. But and then like if we'd have a dinner party, he would excuse himself from the table to go to the bathroom and watch porn.
What?
That's not even the weird part. One time we caught him, he just excused himself to go over to the living room and watch porn. Well, we had a
Did you
TV
ever
in the living
see
room.
him watching it?
We had a TV in the living room. Yeah, he just turned it on while we were watching it.
What? That's so weird. I've been following the Kellen Winslow case. I don't know if you've Kellen Winslow Jr. How
No.
he was I think they convicted him of rape and
jeez.
breaking and entering and all that sort of
Kellen-
stuff. And it kind of
Yeah, I just
Kellen
pulled up
Winslow
Dark
Jr.
Stories from Rape Trial. Did we ever have
Yeah.
him? I thought he was our tight end for a year.
for the Seahawks. I thought
Se-
maybe I didn't look into that, but it sounds like I want to say he was, but
Okay, I got a headline
I guess
here.
Since all this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I got one headline and you can go on, but report Kellen Winslow II couldn't stop from masturbating in front of his teammates. This
Yeah. All these stories kind of came out after the trial, and apparently teammates would beg their coaches to not stay in the hotels with him because all he would do would be watching porn or playing video games, and
I think
he just
do you
It's,
believe that
openly
sex
like
addiction
that.
is a thing?
yeah. I don't think there's many people who don't.
I don't.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
Okay, are there
Oh,
people
you're one of
who
those people.
are those people who engage in sex compulsively without joy or pleasure? Yes, there are people like that. But for most people who cry that they're sex addicts, I think are just powerful men who get caught. Wasn't that Tiger Woods' whole thing? He cheated on his wife a lot and he claimed he was a sex addict.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
So
bullshit.
he's using it like a cop.
Exactly. I think
Cop-out.
it's used as a cop out. If you're masturbating in front of your male teammates in the hotel room, That's what I would call sex addiction.
Okay, so Munzo would fall under the sex addict.
By my
umbrella.
metric, by my bar, yeah, I would say. And like I said, I have a much higher
Okay.
bar than I think most people would because I do think that people use it as a cop out. I mean,
And
I didn't do
you
anything
know,
wrong. I'm a sex addict. I'm suffering from a disease. You can't. Don't you judge me.
Yeah. Oh.
Meanwhile,
I'm
you get
sex
caught in
addict.
a.
I'd like to cheat on my wife.
I
all the
like
time.
exactly. I just like to be cheating on my wife. I'm in a hotel room with 16 hookers. Don't judge me. Don't you? The funny part is whenever someone says "Don't you judge me,"
I
is
got a
right after
problem.
something that's deserving of judgment. The Kellen Winslow
You know
thing.
you would too if you could.
Oh fuck! No,
yeah.
I would. Actually, that reminds me of
a
a.
part of Tiger.
No, okay, yeah, but that reminds me of a quote from Abraham Lincoln. I read it just recently, but it was something along the lines of let me see if I can find it. It wasn't that long ago. Oh yeah, so Abraham Lincoln. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want a true test of a man's character, give him power. Which means it's very easy for us, the lowlifes, to claim moral superiority when we have never been tempted by anything. Imagine what we'd be if we were rich and powerful. Would we still be able to maintain our character? Like, how easy is it for a person to become corrupt and unethical?
I'd say pretty darn easy from everything that I read in the headlines.
Almost every day.
I have to think of like that Bible quote that says like, a rich person going to heaven is like a camel trying to pass through the eye of a needle or
Yes,
something like that.
it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
I
think people
memorized
know
that
about
one.
for a,
It is one of my favorite Bible quotes.
yeah. So, I'm not quite sure how literal that means. Because I'm assuming
That a camel can't go through a needle.
that. Well, exactly. So I imagine a rich person could.
I think that it's basically, it's a quote, it's a verse to help people realize that power and money will corrupt people.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to become corrupted when you become rich and powerful. It's not to say there's not a single rich, powerful person who doesn't do good things and is a good person. Of course they exist.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, thank you. Perfect example. Really? That was your fucking go-to example? Not a bad one.
I was waiting to put Mr. Rogers into here.
Was he really that rich and powerful? He worked for PBS.
Okay, you got me there.
I don't know how rich and powerful he really was.
He was a good man, though.
He was a good man, but that
I
doesn't
watched
really...
the HBO documentary recently, and it kind of...
Elon Musk?
Hope a little bit. I don't know. That whole, like, thing with that tie diver situation and...
The
kinda
tie
was,
diver.
like, he called one of the tie divers, like, a pedophile for helping the kids out, or...
Whoa!
It was kind of weird.
I don't know
You
about
hear
that.
about
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really keep up with a lot of news. I know you might think I do, but I really don't.
I'm just at work all the time, so I'm always like listening to like the top headlines in the background.
So Elon Musk accused a Thai diver of...
And then the diver actually sued him for defamation, and I think that whole trial is going on right now.
Because he touched a kid? But in an unsexual...
'cause
Elon Musk
I guess it's
type.
kind of... Yeah, I guess it's kind of a thing for like Europeans to go over and live in Thailand because they like little boys. and
Oh,
girls.
right, of course. No, I imagine
talked with
child
Zach about this.
child sex trafficking is really big in Southeast Asia. So,
Yeah.
but okay,
But,
Elon Musk calls British cave diver a child rapist.
Yeah.
Boy.
Pretty
El-
much. Through Twitter. So,
Okay,
I mean, that shouldn't,
That-
I'd put it more of like a knock on
on Musk.
Elon, although,
What if
Yeah,
What if
but-
the guy really is a pedophile? But I don't know anything about the story.
Exactly.
So if he,
I don't know.
I'm assuming that the diver is not a pedophile.
But yeah, you have to assume unless there's some sort of proof, but no one seems to have come out and like accused him. No one else, at least.
I'm always weary about that.
And he ended up he ended up helping save those kids too. So.
He saved kids. I know nothing about this story. I'm going to take your word for it. Elon Musk is a bastard. But Elon. Okay, so this actually transitions pretty well into our next topic I wanted to discuss with you, because. What? No, not pedophilia. That'll be a future show we talk about because I could do more research.
It's not something we should touch on lightly.
Plus, I have a few good sound clips that I could use for the pedophilia episode, which will be coming up next week. It's really horrible to joke about. Really, probably the worst, darkest thing you could joke about. We're going to hell.
That's why I think
You
we're
laughed.
laughing is because we're trying not to joke about it.
I know. Seriously, the more you you shouldn't laugh, is the harder it becomes not to. And you're going to hell. I hope you know that.
Okay.
Elon. So no, the transition is that Elon Musk is forever one of the internet's top prophets. Is profits the right word, or just celebrities? Top celebrities on the internet. And
Okay, so the internet likes him.
the internet
Or
loves
he's
Elon
a
Musk.
notable guy.
Elon Musk is like a god of the internet. And it's because, one, he's incredibly intelligent and successful, but also he has a sense of humor. Sense of humor helps.
I would think being intelligent and successful would mean you'd have some sort of sense of humor.
It doesn't work for everyone, though. It doesn't work
Yeah,
for
I
everyone.
guess
Not
so.
every intelligent person is well loved on the internet. I see Bill Nye get ripped a lot.
That's true. I've heard he's kind of an asshole in person.
He is a bit of an asshole in person. Not that I've ever met him in person, but he's not loved.
Well,
Elon Musk.
apparently they used to film a show in the building where I work, and my boss told me like a long time ago he would try and talk with Bill, and he was just kind of like put him off, or was kind of like.
Was it
an
that he
asshole.
already went to the celebrity status sort of thing? Like he instantly went to his head? I'm Bill Nye, the
I mean,
science guy. I don't need to talk to lowlifes like you.
Bill.
Bill. Still one of the best parts of my childhood is when they put that videos on. Come on. Yeah, that was like that you knew that was a fun day in science class when they put a video on of Bill Nye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those old VHS. They roll off the TV.
Very much. But Elon Musk, one of the
back
gods
to
of the
Elon,
internet.
yeah.
Recently, there's been someone who I would say usurps Elon Musk celebrity status on the internet.
They should make like an internet hall of fame.
Oh, there is an internet Rushmore. I would put Elon
Okay.
Musk. Shoot, I don't. Well, I don't want to give it away this way, but Keanu Reeves would be on the Rushmore.
Okay.
Yes. I was going to talk to you about this briefly. Can you explain to me the obsession people have with Keanu Reeves on the internet?
Can I explain why the internet chooses to put a spotlight on what it does? No, not at all.
No. Well, here's the thing. There are better actors. There are...
There are much better actors. I think most people would agree he's not one of the best actors out there.
That's not true. Have you seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Seriously, watch that movie. Watch that
We
movie,
saw it together.
and then watch John Wick. Put those two movies back to back and see his range. It's seriously, he's got range. How's it going? It's no. Bill and Ted is a hugely underrated movie. It's a history report, not a babe report. But Bill,
There's gonna
those-
be a third one, isn't there?
there is going to be a third one, which is going to be awkward. Can't it be?
Same guy.
Those are historical babes. That is the
I
80s.
really hope he can dive back into that character.
Ah, jeez, I hope that he didn't mature. I want to see like a 50-year-old Ted who still acts like he's in high school.
I know.
I want him to have the same haircut. I want him to have a moment in the episode where he just has to put his hand up in the air with his other hand on his chest to proclaim. Whoa, shit. That is going to get edited out.
Oh, we had a little cutoff right there.
Yeah, someone
Yeah, that
called
was-
me, and it fucking wrecked my ears.
Oh.
Jeez. Like,
Oh, really?
unbelievably so. Oh, God. Damn. Ah. Please hope that does not happen again, because that really hurt my ears.
They might try and call again. I don't know.
That would scare me. That scares the hell out of me right now. Oh, God.
Who calls nowadays? Why don't they text?
Well, that was my dad. I called him. It's Father's Day, so he's calling me back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's dive into like his actual person. I guess like he's got a kind of a sad history.
He does. He also seems to be one of the more humble people in Hollywood.
Yeah, he will take less money so that he can get other actors into the film.
He's the
and
Tom Brady of Hollywood,
regularly-
really.
He regularly gives gifts, to his castmates and film crew.
He also gives, like, I think,
helps do
almost the
things with him.
majority of his film deals to children's hospitals.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I don't think he lives an extravagant lifestyle. I think he still uses the subway to get around. I'm seriously not joking. You can seriously find a lot of videos of Keanu Reeves riding the subway. That's how he gets
There's
around.
that famous meme of sad Keanu too, or
Yep.
him just at a park bench eating a sandwich.
He's also sat down with homeless people and had long-form conversations with them.
And it's just even more like Keanu that like, apparently he didn't even know the internet had this kind of obsession with him.
When do you think he figured it out?
When enough people told him.
There's a lot of memes about Keanu Reeves is the thing, and a number of different things. Like, there's the idea that he's Jesus. Well, first off, he looks a little like Jesus, and like I said, he's very humble and giving.
There's a Jesus conspiracy here.
There's also a vampire conspiracy because they found like depictions, artistic depictions of real life people who look exactly like Keanu Reeves, dating back to like 1500s.
Oh, I think I've heard about those too.
So there's the idea that he's an immortal vampire. So there's the idea that he's Jesus reincarnate. There's the idea that like he really is. There's a lot of memes going around about the fact that he doesn't touch women.
Oh yeah, that was a recent one too. Like, there's a lot of pictures of him like holding his arm, like hovering around. the
Yeah,
woman's waist to,
and
like,
it's a
hold
great
his hand,
caption. It's a great Matrix caption. He's like, "What do you can tell? Are you telling me I can dodge lawsuits? No, Neo. I'm telling you, when the time comes, you won't have to." Because yeah, like every photo you can find of Keanu Reeves taking a picture with a fan, if it's a female fan, he just has his hand around her but not on her. It seems to me that he either is the world's biggest gentleman and he will not touch a woman without her permission, or two, he knows what's going on with the Me Too stuff and he just vehemently protects his own career and life.
his own celebrity.
Well, I mean, a lot of people get accused for nothing, right? Did you know about the Aziz Ansari incident? Like, do you know who that guy is? That
Yeah,
name?
that was the first one to kind of like start turning people around.
It turned people off Me
on the
Too.
whole movement.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
people were on board with it up until that one that came out. Because people read that story, and I don't particularly like the actor. I don't think he's that talented. I don't think he's that funny. But
I never really saw his Netflix show, but I'm familiar with him.
right. But like when I read the story, the full details of what happened that night, I don't know how a single person could assume that he did anything wrong. He's a little creepy, but he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, he's a little forward.
Yeah.
But he.
But you invite a person up to your room. What do you think that means?
Well, the thing is, like, the onus was always on her, right? But she never said no. She never like.
Exactly.
it was all about, oh, he made me feel like
Yeah,
crap
because he
and,
was a
like,
kind of a
the
creepy
movies
guy.
and
But
stuff.
yeah, you're right. She never said no. This is just regretful sex, which people have all the time. That doesn't mean you were assaulted. It's sad.
Yeah,
You
a
made
lot
a
of
mistake.
women said, hey, you just had a bad date.
Yeah, it was a bad date that you, for whatever reason, went all the way through with. See, I personally, I don't think people should be having sex on the first date. I think that's a very irresponsible and silly thing to do. But people do it. You know,
Yep, it happens more often than not.
very much happens a lot.
But can we come up with a reason why the internet's obsessed with Keanu? Is he just happens to be the right guy at the right time?
I think it's all those things. I think it's he has a sad backstory. That's the thing. He gets typecasted as like he's a bad actor. I've never seen him in a bad movie. Have you ever seen him in a bad movie?
A lot of people didn't like that Ronin 47 movie he did.
Oh, I
or
haven't seen that one.
They didn't care for it.
Well, all I know is
but
I love the
majority of his movies are
I
good.
okay, Matrix Revolutions is a bad movie, but that was was the third movie in a trilogy that he was just sort of signed on for and big part of.
Do you think like production companies could secretly be like promoting a lot of his kind of character, and like a lot of people look up into him as far as like pushing it out in like memes and in order to like promo his most recent like movies and stuff?
I do think that producers are wiser than they let on, because I think that he's in the new Toy Story 4 movie, right? You knew that?
No, I didn't.
He is. He's
The
in
only
the
thing I
new.
heard about the only thing I heard about Toy Story 4 was that they would make Woody bisexual or
What?
openly bisexual or gay or something like that.
What about Bo
Yeah,
Peep?
I thought that was crazy.
You probably just saw that in a meme and thought that was like that must be true because that's the world we're living in.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would be. He was with Bo Peep. He loved Bo Peep.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe you're thinking of a different character, not Woody though.
I don't know. It'd be worth looking up later, but I heard something along those lines.
You know, the one thing I knew about Toy Story 4 though was that Keanu Reeves was cast in it. No,
Who's he playing?
he plays like
They didn't say.
he plays like a new toy. He plays like an Evel Knievel toy, I think. I don't know what they call him specifically, but he's basically just a stuntman.
Okay,
But
that makes sense.
which is great. But then I was looking at all the I guess Facebook had a bunch of photos from the premiere of Toy Story 4 or something like that, and all the actors who are in Toy Story 4, Tom Hanks and whatnot. And then the one picture that got the most like upvotes or likes by a wide margin was Keanu Reeves. Like it was seriously like Tim Allen gets 300, Tom Hanks gets like 350, Keanu Reeves like 2,000.
Jeez.
It was seriously something ridiculous. So I think producers know that he's popular. Yes. And then he got put in that new video game.
Yeah, I didn't read into that one too much. I just heard about it, but he's a big part of the new E3 thing that happened. I don't know.
He is,
I
yeah.
don't
He
know what video game.
so E3 released Cyberpunk 2077, which is a game that's coming out next year. Apparently, some long-awaited sequel to a series I don't know of anything about.
Cyberpunk.
There's apparently a game probably out there called Cyberpunk. But Keanu Reeves plays one of the main side characters in the game.
Does he play him as himself? Or?
I don't think he plays Keanu Reeves as Keanu
Okay.
Reeves in
That
the
would be
future.
cool.
That would be cool. It's just Keanu. They use his likeness and his voice to do like some sort of cyborg character.
Well, then you have.
It's not like
probably
Keanu
very
Reeves in the
realistic.
future. That would be a better story. I would guarantee it.
They like have his personality downloaded into an AI and
That's
make
actually
him look like Keanu Reeves.
Well, actually, I watched a Black Mirror episode just today, where that was the whole premise of the episode. Was this girl lost her boyfriend, and she got an app that basically took all of his social media and emails and created an artificial intelligence based on. Yeah, it was good. It's one of the older
Is that
episodes,
the one
though.
with the line from? Oh, it's one of the older ones.
It's one of the older
Okay, it's
ones
not the
because
newest season.
I just got into the show. But it was a really cool concept. But that is the future. But no, it would be good if Keanu Reeves played Keanu Reeves in the future because there's already memes and jokes about him being immortal. Why not just keep it going into the future?
Yeah, that was just playing on the ruminations of fans and whatnot.
He's also wiser than most people.
Would you? Do you think he follows some sort of like Buddhist Tao code or some?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was. He's definitely a spiritual person for sure. Well, because like I remember
he comes out with like autobiography someday, so I can figure out like what's going on.
I think his sister committed suicide or something, and one of his best friends died in front of him or something. Or his sister got cancer, and one of his best friends died when they were together as kids.
Well, then his newlywed wife died with their kid too.
Damn it! Or had a miscarriage.
I'm pretty sure
Ah.
what?
No, I don't know anything about that, but like, yeah, there was a meme going around for the longest time called "Sad Keanu" because, well, he had a hard life, and there was a picture of him sat on a bench. But all of a sudden now it's like he's just like the happiest top of the world guy in the world.
I know, it's the complete opposite.
It is the complete opposite. But like he is Zen to the 10th level or something. I don't know how they do it in Buddhism. But
did you ever see the movie Key and Peele made called Keanu, where they lose the cat?
no.
Named,
Is he in it?
No, but I think they named him Keanu after like Keanu Reeves because of how obsessed people were with him, I think.
And rightly so. Anyways, if I had to build a Rushmore of the internet, Keanu Reeves would be on it.
Keanu Reeves, who
Elon
who's the
Musk.
three other people?
PewDiePie. Hey, he's the biggest YouTube star, okay? That amounts to
That is
something.
true.
Is there a big Instagram star I don't know of? I don't go on Instagram. Do you have
Who would
Instagram?
be the big? Yeah, I have Instagram. Mostly just to look at hot women, but I feel odd when I open up my Instagram on my bus because I have to like look over my shoulder. Like, are people looking at me?
Look at hot women.
Attractive women. Yeah.
Why are you ashamed of that?
I just feel like it's almost pornographic.
Really? How much skin
Some of those pictures they put out.
are they? Yeah, but how much skin are they actually showing?
I mean, they wear thongs, and you know, sometimes they're not even wearing bikinis. They're just kind of covering up.
Yes, but there's. I really don't get the world of 2019, but that's a legitimate profession. People make a living being Instagram models.
I know,
So-
they make a good living.
So if someone were to look over your shoulder and say, "Are you looking at porn?" No, I'm helping support a young woman's career.
There you go. That's the line I'll use.
That's the line you'll use. It's true. If I wasn't looking at it, she wouldn't get upvotes and she wouldn't get money. So I don't know how Instagram gets paid.
Well, I think they make money from advertising.
I know people don't make money on YouTube very much. So we are doing the wrong thing by doing stuff like this. No, it's true. YouTube is incredibly demonetized. Everything is a copyright strike these days, apparently. Everything gets banned.
Mm-hmm.
So YouTube is...
That's the problem with the internet is, like, you have no more room for creativity because of everything's copyrighted.
Well, it's not only that, but I think a lot of the corporate media is starting to make its way into this new realm. And they don't like competition, so they squash people out.
What's the thing that happened in Europe recently? That passed,
Article
but I don't
13.
think it's been implemented yet. It has to do with copyrights, right?
It basically holds any platform responsible for the anything put up on their website. So if you posted a meme with, ironically, Keanu Reeves in a Matrix doing something, if you posted that on Facebook, Facebook would now be responsible for copyright infringement. and they
Okay,
could get
not
sued.
the person who posted it,
No, not you. The platform. But the problem is
because
if
they weren't policing it.
exactly. But if the problem is if the platform is being sued over these so minute copyright infringements, guess what's going to happen? Massive censorship, massive banning. You won't be able to post anything on like Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever without seriously getting knocked down by the Silicon Valley people. Which is not good.
So weird.
Because I thought there's fair use,
Especially
right?
since that person's not making any money off that meme, you know?
Probably, yeah, exactly. But there's fair use laws too. But that's the problem.
Creative Commons laws?
Well, in the use of satire, parody, or commentary, or something, you're allowed to use clips. But like, it doesn't seem to stop YouTube from flagging videos.
Yeah, because they just have an algorithm that isn't perfect.
Exactly, their algorithm is very, very wishy-washy, and well, a lot of people get censored without doing anything wrong, just because they happen to fall into this algorithm. But that is the world we live in.
Videos,
but
not like audio.
Here's the thing about that, though. So, like, this is because of corporate media making its way over. Because, you know, traditional media is dead, right? No one has cable. Like, almost very, very few people have cable. So I think I read something like millennials, like less than something like only like 1/3 of millennials are still, tuned up to cable. But
exactly, it's a dying form
it's a dying. So, but like for all these old media giants, Time Warner, Universal NBC, Fox. Fox. So all these, but they're well, actually, Fox is a little different because they're not losing a lot of money. Fox News is still
thanks to Fox News.
Fox News is still like number 1 in the ratings because pretty much only old people watch Fox News, anyways, right? And old people don't go on YouTube. YouTube is a very young person. It's a very young.
What I've heard of like why Fox News is like so popular too is you can't think of any other like mainstream right wing or right.
Well, no, exactly. That's
news programs that it competes with.
Well, exactly, but because it's always been considered the alternative. So that's one of the reasons why it won't die right away. Because people were tuning into Fox for years because it was seen as the one alternative to the mainstream media. Well, now there's a lot more alternatives to the mainstream media, and it's called, YouTube. There's so much information out there for people to find. Podcasters everywhere. I listen to Joe Rogan all the time.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. My favorite episodes are the ones where he has Alex Jones on. They're hard to find nowadays. But
I haven't seen that one.
You and I should watch that together and react to it because Alex Jones is a fucking trip. Because two things. One, he's just like the most wild guy on the planet with the craziest thoughts and beliefs. And the second part is he's so convincing about it. There's points in which I'm listening to Alex Jones where I'm just thinking like, wow, that's fucking crazy as hell, but it makes sense. He's very compelling.
With all the emotion he puts into it, there might be something there. I don't know.
He's either the world's best performance artist or most genuine conspiracy theorist. I don't know. But like I was listening to the Alex Jones podcast on the Joe Rogan show on Friday, and it was cracking me up because every other second was interdimensional aliens and like the shadow government creating chimera by breeding humans with pigs and
turning frogs gay.
That's his most famous, infamous clip. Yes, that is. But like, there's so much more out there if you're willing to find it. Like, it's a 2-hour-long podcast, and next time you and I are together, we're gonna listen to it and react to it because it is priceless stuff.
Yeah, I would be down for that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, Marty, Tina, do you have anything else to add before we sign off for the evening?
No, but if you want to add who you think the fourth person on Mount Rushmore would be, the internet Mount Rushmore, please go ahead and comment.
Yes, comment below, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and donate to our. We gotta start a Patreon account. Why not? Because I'll put in $1, a video, but that's
Okay.
that's paying myself. There's nothing. But you see, it's paying myself, so the money just it stays in a circle, and it goes. I'm doing the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing. If you can't, like, the money just goes around in a circle. But we're just giving away all of our beer. We have no money. We have these fake bills. I don't know. It's like, how does a self-sustaining economy work? I don't know how the U.S. economy works, let alone some sort of self-sustaining one. And he's like, I don't know how finance works. Anyways, I love that show. I haven't watched the last few seasons. I really should. Okay, so once again, we are Tina and Karen Do the Tube. I am Karen.
This is Tina.
All right, we're signing off. Have a good evening. We'll see you next week. Bye.